What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, I'm going to tell you my story team for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's Indigo Disk DLC. My goal is to only use Pokemon that are new to this DLC. So we're going to be talking about the Dex data mine and going through that, and then building our team from there. And honestly, I'm incredibly excited for this DLC because I think the Pokemon selection is actually pretty solid overall. Of course, guys, if you like this type of content, enjoy these videos, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. Now, before we begin, I do want to inform everyone that you can get all of the starter Pokemon in the Indigo Disk from Gens 1 to Gens 8, and this is going to be a massive part of the Dex. Now, it is confirmed by the official Nintendo account here that you can get your first partner Pokemon in the Indigo Disk by clearing side missions that is given to you by the school. Now, we don't know when these side missions are going to occur within the story, so it may take some time within the Indigo Disk for you to actually get them, and who knows, maybe these side missions will be post-game content as well. So keep that in mind when you're making your team to be a little bit flexible, because we don't know exactly when you'll be able to obtain the starters, and I know a lot of people want to use the starters. I even have a starter on my personal team. Now, here is the list of all the Pokemon in the Indigo Disk pokedex. Now, you'll notice that not all the Pokemon are new Pokemon. Some of them are Pokemon that are currently in the game in the Pokedex or in the Teal Mass Dex, like a Muck here as an example. That is in the Pokedex, and you know, a bunch of other Pokemon like the Haxorus line is also here as well. So, looking at this list, you can see is a bunch of them are going to be starter Pokemon. We have one pseudo legendary, and that is going to be Metagross, which is very exciting. Love this Pokemon a lot. Good amount of Gen 5 coverage here as well, which I do really appreciate. And a good amount of Gen 3 I really like. And Gen 7 is definitely coming in hard here as well. A lot of great gens that I really enjoy. But as I mentioned, a lot of this is going to be the starters. I do want to mention that there is one Hisui Pokemon that is listed here, and that is going to be Cleaver. That is in the Dex, has his own Dex entry, which means we'll probably be able to actually catch a Cleaver or at least have a Black Augerite within the Indigo Disk story. So keep that in mind that Cleaver, yes, will be a Dex Pokemon, which also means it will have a Terra raid. Now, I don't know if the starters will have raids themselves because as we saw, this is like side quest only, but the starters might potentially have raids as well where you can catch them, which will definitely make this a lot easier to fill out your team and all that great stuff. Now, this isn't the full Dex because there are 8 Pokemon that we know are coming that are not listed here and that are new Pokemon. And just to quickly go over them, we know that Raging Bolt and we know that Iron Crown and Terrapagos. So that is 3 of them gone already. And then we know there's going to be an Entei Paradox. We know there is going to be a Terrakion Paradox, right? So that's another couple right there. And then we know that Archlodon exists, evolved form of Duraludon, so that's another. And Dipplin supposedly does have an evolution because it can use the item Eviolite, and it's ID number 1013 right here. We talked about this in the previous video, and it's probably going to be like Hydroplin. And then we know there's some sort of Peach Pokemon that is the head of the Loyal 3, which it might be named like Peachy Cleaner, Peachy Quinn, or something like that, which is item number 1022. So knowing all that information, let's start building our team. And the first Pokemon that is on my team that I definitely want to shiny hunt first is going to be Metagross. Metagross is one of the coolest Pokemon, one of the strongest pseudo legendaries out there. Steel Psychic is a very strong typing, and especially with the rise of fairy types, Metagross, Bullet Punch stuff is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It has the ability Clear Body, which is really good. And also, I completely forgot to mention this, but let's mention it now. The Indigo Disk DLC will be featuring all double battles as we learned in preview events from Media and Cerebi. So all double battles in the Indigo Disk. So I will recommend making a team that has a doubles focus aspect, or at least Pokemon that will complement each other on the field, maybe with terrain, maybe with status or things like that. So keep that in mind. But Metagross blocks Intimidate with that Clear Body, which is absolutely phenomenal. That base 135 attack, 130 defense, has a great move pool, assuming Meteor Mash and Bullet Punch will be on it, and then 2 covers moves. Its Pokemon is absolutely going to be a beast, and I cannot wait to use it on my team. Now, the next Pokemon has to be Blaziken. I love Blaziken. This is like one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. And I don't want to use Charizard. I love Charizard as well. And there's a couple other starters I really do love. But it's been so long since I've actually used Blaziken in a Pokemon game. And now it is the time to bring out Blaziken. And especially with his ability Speed Boost being one of the most broken abilities out there. If you play Pokemon Showdown, you know that Blaziken and also Mega Blaziken are just like banned Pokemon because of Speed Boost. An incredibly strong Pokemon in general. Base 120 attack is so strong. You can also use it as a special attacker, but with Speed Boost, that 80 speed doesn't really mean much, and it's an easy setup sweeper. You can use Protect to get that +1, and then you can use like Swords Dance after that, and then you have Blaze Click. You can have Close Combat, High Jump Kick, or some sort of like coverage move, and Blaziken's going to be an absolute beast of a Pokemon. But a lot of the different starters are going to be super good as well. Definitely, if you want to use some starter Pokemon, I would recommend like a Sun team with Venusaur is going to be incredibly good. Sceptile in the Sun could also be pretty solid as well as another one to pay attention to. If they do change some of the starter abilities, like if Swampert gets Swift Swim because its Mega does, but its regular doesn't, that could be another huge one too. So definitely pay attention to the starters. I think some of them will be incredibly strong. Oh, another one I forgot about, Superior or Contrary. So good. So definitely pay attention to that. Now, for some Gen 5 love, I really want to use Golurk. I love this Pokemon. I think Ghost Ground is really cool typing. I just love this thing. It's just a big mecha, and I love that. And it's not like the best Pokemon, but it does have slow speed, which is good for especially like a Trick Room type of option on the team, which is pretty nice. If I do like face something that is Trick Room wise, I could use Golurk to be slow. And 124 attack is really strong. Ground and Ghost are phenomenal stab moves in general. Has decent defenses with 89 HP, 80 defense, and 80 special defense. Pretty decent overall. It does have Iron Fist, so things like Shadow Punch is going to do quite a bit of damage. So definitely a cool Pokemon. More of a favorite pick than like an actual really good meta pick, but as far as story team, I think it's going to be absolutely valid. Now, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time is Araquanid Water Bug. This Pokemon is so good. I think it's one of the best designs ever. I love its shiny as well. Phenomenal shiny. And its stats are actually really solid. Now, 132 special defense makes this thing an absolute tank. And it's really slow, so another good Trick Room option with that 42 speed. It has bad special attack, and that's fine. 92 defense is pretty solid, but 68 HP is a little bit low. But, with that special defense, that HP doesn't really matter too much. Now, why does this Pokemon, why is it good? Well, it has the ability Water Bubble, right? And Water Bubble is a crazy ability. So Water Bubble reduces damage from taken by Fire-type moves by 50%. So Fire is still a resist on this Pokemon, so we're not neutral to it. It is a resisted hit. And it doubles the power of Water-type moves used by this user. And you can't be burned. This is a paragraph right here. This ability does 3 things. Fire reduction, no burn, double water damage. So we're going to be hitting a lot of liquidations with this Araquanid, and I cannot wait to shiny hunt this thing and add it to my team. Next up is Duraludon, and the reason why Duraludon is going to be added to my team, one, because besides being one of my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon and being a phenomenal Pokemon, Steel Dragon, great typing, 120 special attack is absolutely great with really good physical defense at 115. Terrible special defense, but that's okay. This Pokemon has the hidden ability Stalwart, which means any redirection moves, it will just ignore, which is a really good ability. So it dodges like Follow Me and a Rage Powder, so that's super good. But it's going to evolve into Archlodon, and I really want to use Archlodon on the team. Archlodon might have 550 BST or even 600, becoming a new pseudo legendary. There's potential there, and I think Archlodon is going to be super badass. So hopefully we can get Archlodon before the post game. And if we can't get Archlodon before the post game, then I'm going to switch out Duraludon for my boy Excadrill. I don't want to have 3 steel types on the same team, so I'm gonna have the Duraludon and Excadrill spots be swapped here. And yeah, Excadrill is phenomenal Pokemon. 110 HP, 135 attack, ground steel's phenomenal typing in general. It's a little bit frail, but hey, if you have the Sand Up without 88 speed, it's gonna be crazy fast, do big damage, and this is an absolute beast of a Pokemon. Of course, this is Tranitar's best friend, so if you want to use Excadrill, consider using Tranitar as well. They are BFFs. Now for the last slot, Dipplin, because Dipplin is going to be evolving into Hydroplin or Hyaplin or whatever you're going to call it. We just know it's going to be a Hydra and an Apple, and it potentially seems to be a Dragon and a Bug-type Pokemon. I can't wait to see the stats on that thing. I'm going to guess 550 BST to 600, very similar to Archlodon. I think that Pokemon is going to be phenomenal, especially if it is Bug Dragon. That's going to be really cool. But if this also happens to be a post-game evolution, my backup is going to be Meteor. Meteor, we haven't seen Meteor in a Pokemon game in such a long time. And I love this Pokemon's design. I think it's really cool. Its ability, it makes it so when it's above 50% HP, it can't be status. And when it's below 50% HP, it goes shields down and its speed doubles to 120. Its attack and defensive stats swap, so it'll have 100 attack and like 60 defense. And I just love the different core forms. It's such a cool Pokemon. You see all the core forms here, all the different colors, and the shiny is so dope. However, one bad thing about this Pokemon, because I do want to shiny hunt it, the Meteor form shiny is impossible to tell. The Meteor in the regular are impossible. They're the same. So the only way to shiny hunt this thing is going to auto battle and just hope you get it. Get an Outbreak, Shiny Charm, level 3 Sandwich. Pray you get it with auto battle quickly. Luckily, there's only one shiny variant, so that's cool. And the shiny is phenomenal. But yeah, this is going to be a hard shiny hunt, but I can't wait to use Meteor. I think this Pokemon is incredibly badass. Well, there we have it, guys. That is all of the Pokemon coming to the Indigo Disk decks. Let me know what your team is below in the comment section. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to covering this game from guides, from shiny hunting guides, the Psycho guides, and any other piece of content I can cover. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.